message arrived in broken frequency, a warning from the edge of what we know. The ones who'd seen it firsthand couldn't speak of it without the shaking of something that still shows. He's coming! And everything you've built, he's coming! And the cost has been determined. He's coming! And the math has been decided. He's coming! And the universe has earned it. He believes, and that is what makes it terrible. He believes he is the cure and not the wound. He's coming, and by the time you're ready, he'll already have been here and been through. We assembled every person we could find. We called every favor we had earned and hadn't. And standing in the field of everything we'd built, I understood for the first time what we couldn't. The worst kind of enemy is the certain one, the one who sleeps well and wakes with purpose, the one who sees a universe of suffering and honestly believes that they're the surface. He's already here. He's already begun.
The battlefield went quiet for a second, like the universe was holding its own breath, like every particle of everything was listening for the sound of what was coming next. And then the hand closed, and then the hand opened, and then the light was everything and nothing. And then the dust began, person by person, breath by breath, face by face. The ones beside you gone, the ones who'd promised they would stay. Dust in the air, dust in the hand, dust. Stood among the ones who still remained and looked across at what had been an army. And he had done it. He had kept his promise to himself. The universe was balanced. The universe was halved. There is no villain song for what he did, because he wasn't singing, he was certain. And certainty is quieter than joy. and was done. He watched the sun go down. He sat. He was done. He was finally done.
We stood at the edge of what can't be undone, and argued like we always did. Who takes the fall? She said, let go, and I said, never. She said, I've already decided. And that was all. You can't save everyone you lose. Some loves end at the edge of the impossible. And standing there I learned the difference between the people who survive and those who make it possible. There was nothing left to say, just hands. Two people who'd been broken and rebuilt together. The red of her hair against the sky. I'll carry that color for whatever comes after forever. I'd trade every stone, every color, every power for one more ordinary, terrible day with you. I'd go back and lose again 1,000 times over if it meant that I would get to look at you. She didn't fall, she flew toward the thing she chose.
He took her hand, the way a father takes a daughter's. He walked her to the edge, the way a monster wears a face. He said, "You are the one thing that I love above all others," and said it like that sentence was a reason, not a disgrace. A soul for a soul, the universe is balanced. A life for a stone, the equation doesn't care. She called him father when there was nothing left to call him. She saw him cry and finally understood. He was aware. He knew what he was doing. He knew it cost him, and he did it anyway. The cruelest hearts are not the ones that feel nothing. The cruelest hearts are the ones that feel and still obey. She had escaped him every single time before. She had believed that she had been the one to get away. But standing at the edge, she understood the architecture. He had always known the path would end this way. If you believe completely in your purpose, does the purpose justify the harm you cause? Or does the certainty itself become the danger, the moment when conviction has no pause? He got the stone. He got what he came for, and he cried, and that made it worse.
She said, I can end it. I can close the door. One stone, one moment, and the war is over. He said, you are not the price I'm willing to pay. You are the thing I'm keeping, not the soldier. We don't trade lives, not even for everything. We don't trade lives, not even for the world. We don't trade lives, some prices are too final. We don't trade lives, not her, not him, not yours. He said, if we start to win by what we're willing to destroy, we've already lost the thing we came here fighting for. So we find another way. Oh, we don't win this, but we do not trade the thing we love the most. She'd already decided long before he asked her. She practiced for the moment no one knew she was rehearsing. And in the end she did what she had promised herself, and lost him anyway before the morning. There are two ways to lose everything. The first is simple, you let the world be taken. The second is the one that haunts you longer. You destroy the world yourself to keep it safe. She did it, and then she lost him anyway. And that's the cruelest part.
came here because he couldn't stay behind. He came because he had to. That's what he was. And the orange dust above a world that wasn't his, he started coming apart at the seams because he said, I don't feel right. He said, I don't know what's happening. He said, I'm sorry I tried. He said, I don't wanna go. He said it like a child who woke from a bad dream and found it wasn't a dream at all. And he held on with both hands to the person beside him, and then he couldn't hold on anymore at all. The older man caught him when he started going. He held him until there was nothing left to hold, and then sat in the orange dust alone on a foreign planet with the weight of what he couldn't stop as cold. He was 15 and afraid, and still apologizing. He was 15 and he came here anyway. The bravest and most heartbreaking thing is the one who shows up and disappears the same day. I don't wanna go. I don't wanna go. I'm sorry.
He held the stones, and for a moment the whole universe folded into his hand. He looked across the field at everything he'd built for his daughter, his wife, the man he'd come to understand. Every brilliant thing has a last day. Every light eventually leaves the sky. He built a suit to outrun his own ending, and in the end he chose to say goodbye. She knelt beside him in the dust and metal and whispered what we've all been needing for so long. He didn't say he wasn't scared, he couldn't. He just said it was okay, and then he was gone. The greatest heroes aren't the ones who couldn't fall, who walked into the end. 3,000 reasons, one last choice. Rest now, rest. He watched the sunrise from the porch he'd built for exactly this. The universe was balanced in the way he'd always known. He sat with the empty gauntlet and the quiet, and felt something that might have looked like home. He sat down like someone who has finished. He sat down like someone who has won. He sat down like someone who is satisfied. He sat down, and the worst part was, he was. This is what it looks like when the certain man succeeds. Not fire, not triumph, not the victory anthem. Just a quiet porch and a morning going golden. Just a villain sitting down among the ashes. Half the universe was missing from the morning. Half the voices in the world had gone to silence, and the one who caused it watched the light come up, like it was just another day. Balance. There is no revenge that brings back what was taken. There is no answer to the math he made. Just the long work of living in the aftermath of a universe rearranged beyond the blade. He sat down. The sun came up, and half the universe was just gone. Balanced. He called it balanced.